Good morning again to all the participants. At this time, we'll go ahead and begin our meeting. I'd like to call Aaron Muse up to extend a welcome and to call our meeting to order at 10:10 a.m. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, everyone. I do want to welcome everyone to the Black Alumni Council biannual meeting. Today, Saturday, May 14th. This is just a great Saturday. I don't know, a great Saturday to be a bear. And so I just thank everyone for coming out. And how about that? Is that good, George?
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you.
All right. So this morning, you'll see the agenda on screen. We will try to keep ourselves to right around an hour. So we're going to try to get through this very quickly. I want to thank you all for giving your time this morning. But we'll be going through, and as the slides pop up, I'll be asking different members of the board to address. Our board is made up of our Vice President, Aaron Muse, Charlene Fields, our Secretary, Hakeem Williams, our Treasurer, Damon Stewart, Public Relations Coordinator, Natasha Lancaster, Springfield Community Liaison, Alicia Shells, community member at large, Alexander Plummer, community member at large, Xandra Carson, parliamentarian. Greg Fansler is Executive Director for MSU Engagement and Alumni Relations. He's an ex officio member, as is H. West Pratt, Assistant to the President, Chief Diversity Officer. So these are our current board members. And I want to thank them all for the service that they've rendered over the last year for me. Without their support, without their participation in board meetings as well as committee meetings, we would not be where we are as an organization. Without question, some of these individuals I've had the pleasure to work with for multiple years and with the board, and others more recently, but each of them provides a great service towards this organization. And I'm so happy to be a part of this body and happy to have had the pleasure to work with each of them. So as we move forward, we're going to go into our secretary's report. I'm going to ask Charlene Fields to come to the mic and share minutes from our October biannual meeting. Charlene.
Okay, good morning, everyone. October meeting was called to order at 7:16 p.m. Damon Stewart introduced the board. George Winston, President, Aaron Muse, Vice President, Natasha Lancaster, Community Liaison, members at large, Alicia Shells, and Alex Plummer. Brent Dunn, the Vice President of University Advancement, announced a new employee, Greg Fansler, Executive Director of Alumni Relations, discussed enrollment has decreased in returning students, and the John Goodman Amphitheater construction will be completed in the spring. MSUAA Chair Tara Carlton and Brad Coy, Chair-elect, discussed in-person engagement activities, MSU Bears Week, MSU Day at the K, dinner with and alumni were reminded to return the yellow cards information. George, can you move the screen up?
Can I move the screen up? Are you not able to see, Charlene?
No, I need the next one.
This is the next screen. I've already advanced it.
Oh, there we go. Dr. Becker Stewart, Assistant VP of Student Affairs, Multicultural Services, discussed the opening ceremony for the Multicultural Center at 12 p.m. at the Plaster Student Union. The transition closet needs items, and there's a non-green step show at the Foster Auditorium at 7:00 p.m. BAC President George Winston discussed the state of BAC, creating relationships with alumni relations, student affairs, and getting a Twitter and Instagram account. The second report of April 17, 21 minutes were approved by Aaron and seconded by Damon, and the minutes were passed. Financial report, September balance was 7,867 expenditures. 7,867 expenditures were 1,852, and we had a balance of $6,015. Motion to approve was by Natasha Lancaster, seconded by Aaron Muse, and the minutes were passed. And George discussed Paul Terry were up for re-election, a 2-year term. Homecoming activities, May 10th, football game, we're gonna meet for dinner in the wine bar at Q in Oteca and have an after party. And the meeting was adjourned at 10 o'clock p.m.
Aaron, thank you for your report. At this time, I'd like to call for a motion to accept the minutes as provided. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Alex, thank you. Actually, you have to actually state a motion. You just can't say so moved. So I do want to ask you to actually state what your motion is. Thank you.
You're welcome. I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion that the minutes from the October 21 meeting be approved as presented. Do we have a second?
I second.
Motion, recording secretary Xander Carson second that motion. Call for the vote. Before we call for the vote, is there anyone who's has questions or concerns with that? Let those, if the person has something to say, please share that with us now so we can add that information to our report. No questions? All those in favor, please indicate yes. Please indicate by saying yes.
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 Those are disapproving have the same right. You can voice none. Motion carries and the minutes are approved. Right. We'll move right into our treasurer's report. And I'm going to ask our treasurer, Hakeem Williams, to come to the microphone and share our financial report.
Hey, George, I'm at a loud section of where I'm at. Can you hop me and then let me be after the next presenter? I apologize about that. I wasn't expecting it to be loud where I'm at, but if you could do that, then I'll be available to give my report in about 5 minutes after the next report, if you don't mind, please.
All right, sir. Thank you. So we'll come back to the financial report and we'll move forward to the state of the BAC. And the state of the BAC is strong and on a firm foundation. Over the last year, members of this board have worked to be more visible and to engage with university leaders, current students, and specifically targeting younger alumni and current students. The board's goal, build for the future by investing time now. We have more than 70 Black alumni members who are eligible to participate as financial members of the council at this particular point. These are individuals who have donated at least $50 or more to the university over the past year. We've definitely seen that number grow each of the last 2 years. And I'm very happy to see that we've been able to see some growth even this year coming out of the pandemic. We've maintained an active relationship with the Office of the President. We are meeting twice a year with President Smart for virtual town hall sessions to hear updates directly from him. and senior leadership on campus to share feedback with him also. We've gained the support of key university leaders and offices such as Dr. Rebecca Stewart, Assistant Vice President, Division of Student Affairs, Multicultural Services, Dr. Algerian Hart, Associate Dean for the Graduate College, Dr. Rob Hornberger, Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management and Services, Mr. W. Brent Dunn, VP for University Advancement, Gabe Gore, Board of Governors member, Mrs. Amy Counts, former chair of the Board of Governors, and Mrs. Carol Sylvie, current chair of the Board of Governors. We are in the beginning stages to make inroads with current students. We've been more visible for on-campus events over the past year, communicating with them throughout the year. I've had the pleasure to work specifically with some young men who I've been interacting with to kind of share information as well as to try to offer some mentorship to them. So I know that we're making those strides, and I anticipate that we'll continue to do that because we've seen those things pay it forward. We spent time talking with Black faculty members and staff members to get their take about the culture of the campus from their perspective. We've attended receptions, dinners, open houses, and other university events over the past year. So we've been extremely active, and it's paid off. Several members of the board are now very well known within the alumni circles and among university leadership. This is the type of effort that it's going to take for this organization to remain active and become a stronger partner for the university. At this particular point, I know you haven't heard yet from our financial situation from our treasurer, but I can assure you that the board is in a very solid financial standing at this particular time. This is going to allow the board essentially to go into the summer and be able to make plans for homecoming as well as future activities and not have to worry about funding for seed money or to be able to make purchases for whatever the administration feels is necessary. Finally, the reason that I know that this organization is on a strong standing and ready to move forward is the makeup of our board members, our secretary, our Springfield community liaison, our public relations coordinator, our members at large. These are the folks these folks will have a second year of experience underneath their belt and will be able to share their knowledge and experience with the new and future board leaders. They're going to be able to come in and hit the ground running and provide that necessary support for our new and future president, vice president, parliamentarian, and treasurer. BAC is ready to grow and become even stronger, and I'm looking forward to working with these leaders going forward. And BAC is on a strong and stable state, and BAC is on the move. At this time, I'm going to see if Hakeem Williams is available now to give his report. Hakeem, are you available at this point? Okay, it looks like Hakeem is.
All right, no, George, you got me?
Yes, I can hear you, Hakeem. Are you available now?
Okay, hold. I am available now. Forgive me, it's a little bit loud where I am. I'm moving. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I will move back to your report then, sir. Here you are on screen.
I'm good. I'm good to go. So good afternoon. Good morning, everyone. It is a hot day in Dallas, Texas. And I know for Raymond, it's even hotter down there in Austin, Texas, but I digress. So I'm your treasurer. have been so I don't know for how many years, but the key thing for us is that key initiatives. We want to grow BSC financially to support future endeavors, homecoming events, and so forth. And it's key, and one of the main ways we do that is we ask everybody to remain active by giving a $50 financial gift. So they give that to the Multicultural Center, to the BAC, but that $50 gift is what makes you a part of the Black Alumni Council. Now, everybody who graduated, or everybody who went to Missouri State, we consider Black alumni, but that's what kind of makes you official, is that $50 gift every year. We keep track of that. So 39 individuals, 50 separate donations of $50 or more, includes corporate matching funds. Don't forget your whatever company that you work for, more than likely than not, they will match those funds. I do want to mention from an expenditure and a balance perspective. So we started before homecoming with a balance of $78.67, and we have expenditures of $1909.21, which gives us an end of year balance of $63.52.79. We had about an additional $400 related from a financial perspective. So that is where we are. The good thing is that we do have money, and it's important that we are diligent in how we utilize said money. So, and the answer to your question is no. I'm going to get to that, Aisha, as far as where exactly you send your $50 towards. George, can I ask you to go to the next slide? Thank you, sir. So, no, I'm sorry. Go back to the. There you go. So I'm going to address your question, Aisha, towards the end of where exactly you go to send your $50. This is what we need, and this isn't just for, whether it's a treasurer role, but this is what we need overall. We need more council members to volunteer their time and their talents, mentoring, community service, outreach, reconnect with the university, citywide specific happy hour and gatherings. Now, we know this has not been, it's been a lot harder related to the pandemic, but we also know people live more than just in Kansas City and St. Louis. I know for myself, we had a happy hour in Dallas in, I believe, 2018, 2019, before the pandemic started. We have a good amount of folks that went to Missouri State, whether it's from my generation of the early to mid 90s to the later generations. And I think one of the biggest challenges we've had is bridging the gap from, from the folks that I went to school with, whether it's with George, whether it's with Raymond, or with other folks, who were in my generation, or even my sister. She's considered part of my generation. But those folks who those folks who graduated in 2010, those folks who graduated in 2010, for example, they're what, 33, 34, 35. They're 10, 12 years out of school. I have no idea, how they maneuver and so forth. Even those people who graduated in 2020, we want to capture people as soon as they get out of college to be a part of the Alumni Association. And so it's important that we want people to claim and be proud of the time that they spent at Missouri State. We know everybody's experience is different. Everybody had a different experience. Some liked it, some didn't. But from an alumni perspective, we want everybody to be proud to be a part of the Black Alumni Association. So, George, can I go to the third slide? So how do you join us? And this goes to one of the questions that came up. So there's a seamless opportunity for renewal. You can see that link there, and that link will also provide you an opportunity. Also, from a renewal perspective, if it's time for a renewal, you will be receiving an email from me, if I have your email, to renew. And the overall key for us is we want to reshape that image of the university. I kind of mentioned before, everybody had a different experience. I don't know anyone who went to a PWI, primarily white institution, who did not have what I would call a very unique experience. I got friends who went to UT, Texas A&M, being in Texas A&M, Texas Tech, or whatever, and it's surprising how the experiences are quite identical. No matter how big the school is, no matter how small the school is, that the experience of being African American on a campus, primarily, a PWI campus, is quite similar. The key for us is that we want to really be proud of that and give back. One of the things we do is from a homecoming perspective. I'll mention this. I got friends who went to UT, Raymond's at UT. UT has it's one of the largest schools in the nation, but they have a very big Black alumni homecoming. And so with that, we also want to, and their homecoming is a part of their normal homecoming. We want that to be a part of ours as well. If you have not been back to Missouri State and experienced a football game, I got to tell you, it's off the chain. It's not what it was when I was back at school for sure. It's a true tailgating experience. So want to really be sure that, people know what's going on with the university. And again, if you haven't been back, you'd be surprised of just how much it's grown. We want to improve that inclusive environment, impact it, and our goal is to impact the future of the university. And this is very important. We got a voice, y'all. I mean, we meet with Dr. Smart a couple times a year. If you don't know who Dr. Smart is, that's the president of the university. I can tell you, not every Black Alumni Council or Black Alumni Association at schools across the United States actually meet with the president of the school and have a direct advisor as a part of that. If you think about whenever most of us were in school, we didn't have any Black Alumni Association. We had nothing like that. And so now when you have that Black Alumni Association, I know, for example, Alpha Phi Alpha now has an alumni chapter in Springfield. I believe the AKAs also have an alumni chapter in Springfield as well. Forgive me if I'm missing any other fraternities or sororities that also have an alumni chapter as well. But there is a foundation that exists in Springfield that we, for most of us, did not have. That foundation exists. So we want to build upon that, make it successful. And, whenever I walk around Dallas and I got a Missouri State t-shirt on, I get surprised at how many folks stop me and be like, dang, you went to Missouri State? I did too. Well, I know somebody that went there. Matter of fact, if you don't know about the football team, James Shelley, the quarterback of the football team, he's from Frisco, Texas, where I live. So our roots are pretty strong across the United States. Again, not just Kansas City, not just Springfield, not just St. Louis. So we want to build upon that, y'all. And we really want to we want everyone to be really proud of the university we went to, because whether you think so or not, Missouri State, I will always know that SMS is a good school. It is a good school. Again, I know everybody's experience is different. Some hated it there. I get that. But everybody, whether they liked it there or didn't, we want to bring everybody in inclusively for the Black Alumni Association. So with that, and after doing all that talking, Mr. President, I will hand it back to you, and I will open it up to see if there's any questions at all from anyone.
Thank you, Hakeem. Do we have any
Oh.
questions from any? Belinda, I see your hand raised on screen. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Belinda Higgs-Hypolite. I'm class of 1995 from Missouri State, and I'm I've given money financially, but I have yet to be able to figure out how I can give directly to this organization that we are talking about. And so I'm not sure if I'm a member or if I'm not a member. I'm receiving all of the emails. I participated as a host of a bear talk and things of that nature. And you all dropped the link into the chat, but it is a general foundation link. And so how do you know how to navigate to get specifically to this Black Alumni Council if that's what we want our money to be designated as? Because that is still not clear.
Belinda,
And that's
thank you.
this is Aish. That's my question too, because I'm in the link now, but I'm like, how do I know that my $50 is going directly towards our council? So we can cover that, please.
So what I will do, and George, what we can do after the meeting, I have those specific instructions. I don't have them in front of me. By the way, hello, Dr. Higgs. Dr. Higgs and I are class of
Hello, fellow
1991.
classmate. How are you?
Fellow classmate, fellow graduate of 1995, as well as fellow SOAR leaders. If you ain't,
Yes,
we also
exactly.
need Black folks to do SOAR, but I'm gonna digress from that. But for what used to be, I just called it Belinda back in the day. Now she's Dr. Higgs, but I digress. But for Aisha and for Dr. Higgs, as a part of this, of what George sends out, we will provide a specific navigation of how you get there, not only in the link, but exactly what you do. So we will provide step-by-step instructions to do so. So very, very good to know that it's not easily discernible. So we'll make that easier for you, and we'll send that out for you.
Hakeem and Belinda and Aisha, Uh, there is a link that is, if you go through, and I'll send that out before this meeting ends. I just can't navigate it while trying to run the meeting right now. But there is a link that is off of the BAC webpage. So once you click that you want to support the BAC webpage, it'll take you to a different page where you can then that you can then indicate by clicking a second link that you want to donate and become a financial BAC member. At that time, you will have the opportunity to contribute your annual gift of $50 or more, and identify if you want to support the Black Alumni Council Support Fund, the Association of Black Collegian Scholarship Award, the Gene Freeman Memorial Scholarship, the Jim Ferguson Diversity Enhancement Scholarship Fund, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Scholarship, the Mary Jean Price Walsh Multicultural Scholarship, the Tolerance Advocacy Scholarship. Those are ones that you can indicate specifically that you want to support. But if you want your funds to go specifically to the Black Alumni Council, there is a button that you can indicate when you go to that link, and it will basically, that will earmark your funds to come to BAC. So there is a way that we can do that. And looks like Greg has added that information in chat.
So is Aaron. And if I
That
may,
was Aaron.
yep,
Yes.
both of us got it. The first link I did share was the generic fund. If you don't know where to go, know that your $50 gift to the university, and you can always put into the chat where you want your fund to go, and you can say Black Alumni Council, and the back end folks will port that into it if you can't get to the link that now is shared where you have all of the different options that are spelled out, as George has said. I'd like to offer one update to the report. We do have 69 Black Alumni Council members for this fiscal year, not 39. 69 have made a $50 gift or more. 55 of us, 55 Black alumni haven't have an active email address, and 14 do not. And so those 14 were not included in this invitation to join this meeting. I'll also share that unfortunately, databases are big and ugly, and not everybody has ethnicity listed on their record. So we know that there are very likely more Black alumni out there who have made a $50 gift, but they don't have African-American listed on their record. And so that's another issue that we're going to have to talk about as a council, and how we educate, and then how we solve for that on the back end, because how you pull lists and how you communicate, it is based off of certain parameters. So did that make sense?
It did, Greg, for me. Are there any other questions
Thank you,
or
Greg.
comments? Hakeem?
No, I didn't have any other questions or comments. I will probably talk about it later. I just really wanted to highlight homecoming, and as we talk about future events as well, and the opportunities we have there. So I'll leave it there, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Hakeem. We have a hand raised, Mr. Dewan Gavel. Mr. Gavel, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dewan Gavel. I had a question. Do we have like a map of where those donations are coming from, where those members are located?
Greg,
Mr. Gavel,
that may be. Oh,
sorry, Hakeem, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is achievable. I can certainly get that to you all.
Yeah, Greg, if you could send that to Hakeem and George, that'd be great. No doubt. And also, I would say we can also get a class, or whenever they came to Missouri State. That would be helpful. And one thing I really want to highlight this, and one of the key takeaways I would like for everyone is, we're not trying to get one specific generation. We're trying to get folks we're trying to get from the first Black graduate to folks who are graduating this weekend, or whenever this graduation is in Missouri State. As soon as folks walk across that aisle and get diploma. We want them to be a part of Black Alumni Council, not just, and it's not even about the $50. It's not even about that. It's to know that they are immediately connected with a network of folks. Just like I have Alpha Phi Alpha, just like some folks have Delta or Pi Beta Sigma or whatever it may be. We want folks to know that they have a connection as soon as they get out of school, rooted in Missouri State. I think this is one of the key ways that folks are able to do that.
All right. Thank you, Hakeem. Thank you, Greg. And Dewan, thank you for your question. All right, there are no additional questions. I'm going to ask for a motion that the the treasurer's financial report be accepted as presented. Can I get a motion, please?
I'm not sure who's eligible to make motions, George. Like, is it
You-
executive officers or general people?
No,
Like,
this is the council. This is the entire council meeting. So any person is able to, and in your case, you've made, as you stated, you've made a donation to the university. So you are eligible to make a motion. You are eligible to ask questions. It's just the person who has not made a donation, that individual is not able to vote.
okay, perfect. So then I
Okay.
would like to move that we accept the treasurer's report as submitted with the amendment of from 39 members to 69 members as was corrected via verbal confirmation.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Belinda. We have a motion that the financial secretary's report be amended with the correction, but be accepted. And we have a second to that motion.
Second.
Second.
Raymond Blakely was the second. Out for the second. Well, motion. I'm sorry. We are now open for. Sorry, just we had this brain lock on. We have the motion was. We have a motion that was approved and seconded. We now open it up for voting. Are there any questions? No questions. Then all those in favor of accepting the financial treasury report, please indicate by saying aye or yay.
Aye. Aye.
Those who disapprove have the same right, indicating by no. Ayes have it, the motion carries. And the report is accepted. Thank you very much. All right, we'll now move forward to the election of BAC. I think I went too far. There we are. The election of BAC members for the next term. The positions that will be coming open for the next term are president, vice president, treasurer, and parliamentarian. At minimum, any person who is wishing to hold a position must have a baccalaureate degree or higher conferred from Missouri State or SMSU, must complete the MSU AA volunteer registration and commit to volunteering at events throughout the appointed term, and maintain an active voting status as a council member by making a minimum annual financial contribution of $50. At this particular time, we did not receive any nominations for president, but I will come back to that. We did receive nominees for the positions of vice president, treasurer, and parliamentarian. Vice president, Mr. Tyree Davis, treasurer, Mr. Devon Gavel, and parliamentarian, Mr. Raymond Blakely. Let's see. I will, at this particular point, since we did not receive a nomination for president. Oh, sorry. My apologies. Go back. Here we go. Since we did not receive a nomination for president, I would ask that we be able to open the floor and accept nominations from the floor at this particular time. If the council would like to move in that direction, I would need to have a motion that we would open the floor to seek nominations from the floor for the position of president. If any of you agree with that, then I would need you to make that nomination, that recommendation now, or that motion now, excuse me.
I move that we open the floor for open calls for the presidential position, open the floor for nominations.
Thank you, Dr.
Second.
Belinda. It was seconded by Aaron. All right, so we'll open the floor. If we'll have call for a vote. We have a motion then to open the floor to seek nominations from the floor for the office of president. It was seconded by Aaron Muse. All those in favor of opening the floor, please state by saying aye.
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 Those who disapprove have the same right. All right, motion carries. The floor is now open for nominations from the floor for position of president. Do we have any nominations at this particular time? Does anyone like to offer a nomination? I would like to offer a nomination. I would like to nominate Natasha Lancaster for president of the BAC. This young lady is wise beyond her years and loves Missouri State University. She brings 3 years of experience of working on the BAC board as the former public relations coordinator and now the community liaison. She's a team player, but is not afraid to voice her concerns when needed. She's currently a director for the Missouri State University Alumni Association, which allows her to have contact and build relations with many of the leaders on the campus as well. She recently joined the financial aid office at Missouri State as assistant director. She's a strategic thinker, and I believe that she will help this organization take a step into the next level. I offer my nomination again for Natasha Lancaster for president.
I second that.
Okay, I'm sorry, was that Belinda again?
Yes.
Okay, Belinda, thank you very much. We have a nomination for Natasha. Is there a second nomination?
This is Belinda. I actually wanted to nominate Hakeem Williams for president. He is currently serving as the financial and treasurer for this organization. He has a commitment and compassion for this work. He is full of ideas of how to lead this organization today and into the future. He surely has the energy and he's dedicated to making sure that we are connecting across the generations. And so I would like to nominate Hakeem Williams, and he also brings historical knowledge of serving as a current board member to the floor as well. So I would like to nominate him as for presidency.
Do we have a second to Belinda's nomination of Hakeem Williams?
I second.
Charlene Fields has seconded the nomination for Hakeem. And I would ask, do we have any other nominations for the position of president? Any other nominations for the position of president? All right, then I would ask then that we have a motion to close nominations for the position of president. Can I get a motion that we close the nominations?
I move that we close the nominations for the office of president.
Mr. Alexander Plummer made a motion that we close the floor for nominations for the position of president. And we have a second.
Second.
All right. Was that Mr. Blakely? Mr. Blakely, second that motion. We ask now for there to be a vote on that. All those in favor of closing the nominations at this time, please vote by saying aye.
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 Those opposed have the same right. All right, so nominations are closed. What we'll need to do is I'll need to modify our ballot very temporarily. So allow me to do that just for a moment, and then I will make the modification to we go. Give me just a moment to make this update very quickly. Right.
Alex Plummer, you still are Alex Plummer.
Right. Okay, so that information has been updated on our ballot. Now, I will ask, let's see, we have 14 participants on this call at this time. And I know that Hakeem had to jump off the call. Oh, Hakeem is still with us. Okay, so Hakeem, if you are, we actually need to ask you if you accept the nomination. I've already had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Lancaster, and I know that she accepts the nomination. But Hakeem, are you willing to step in and be considered for president at this point? Not sure if he can still hear us. Okay, send him a quick text message. Again, thank you all for bearing with me. I am attempting to text him right now to see if he will accept the nomination. He is not responding.
George, just so you know, I did speak to Hakeem in the chat before I nominated him, if that helps you at all.
That does help me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we will move forward.
If you're recording your chat, it is there as well. I'm not sure. I did direct message him though, so I don't know how that works.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Belinda. Appreciate that. And yes, it does help me. And with that information, we will move forward to our next slide here. On screen, you will see a link as well as a actual what is that called? I just went blank on that.
QR code.
QR code. Thank you. You'll see a QR code that will take you to an electronic ballot where you will be able to submit your ballot for the new board members. I would ask each of you over the next 35 minutes to be able to go into and submit your ballot. This information will then be recorded and it will be sent to myself, which I will then share with the nomination committee. We will review this information and then we'll be able to report this out to you and be able to inform you who are the next board members for the BAC. As I shared with you earlier, the position of vice president, treasurer, and parliamentarian, there were only one candidate in each of those areas and identified. So we will only be voting for those one individuals there, but you will have a choice in regards of president. So you will have an opportunity to make a decision there, and that information will be recorded, and then the committee will then report that information out to you as soon as possible later today. That information will be shared via email. So each person who is on this call should certainly receive notification. And I see we have a raised hand, Mr. Raymond Blakely. Mr. Blakely.
Hey, I'm not sure if you're able to see the chat, but would you be able to drop? Okay, never mind. Someone did it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Blakely. And thank you, Greg, for sharing that chat, sharing that link. All right. We're going to go. Raymond, do you have another question? I see your hand still up. Okay. All right. Thank you, Raymond. All right. So we're going to move forward and to, we're already 55 after. And I see you. Hold on. Oh, I just received a text from Mr. Hakeem Williams, our treasurer. It indicates I am not able to accept. I have other obligations that prevent me from doing so at this time. So Mr. Hakeem Williams has indicated he is not able to accept. He has other obligations that prevent him from running. So I will modify. Let's see if anyone has already voted.
I have a question. So if you've already held the office before, so let's say I nominate Erin, would she be able to hold the office or no?
Well, Aisha, at this particular time, the nominations have been closed, so we can't accept any other nominations at this particular time. Going forward, just so that you are aware, normally there would be a call for nominations earlier in the year, and you would be able to make those nominations at that time. But since we opened up the floor to do so today, we opened up the floor, we made nominations, and then we closed the floor. We would not be able to accept any other nominations at this particular point. Aisha, are you?
Thank you.
Okay. The link does not work. Raymond says the link does not work. Okay.
Mr. Chair, may I make a motion?
There's no motion on the floor. So Mr. Plummer, you are able to address the council.
That was, go ahead.
Oh, was that you, Raymond? I'm sorry. I saw Alex's hand up.
Yeah, that was me. Being that we have a single slate, so I move that since we have a single slate, that we, if bylaws allow, that we ask the secretary to cast one ballot and we close the election.
All right, we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Raymond Blakely that since we have a single slate and one candidate for each position, that we allow this slate to act as a single ballot, and that we close the nominations, or we close the election after it being cast for each person. Is there anyone who would like to second that nomination at this point?
Second.
Second.
All right, it was second by Mr. Plummer, Alexander Plummer. So we will now then move forward with a single ballot for the entire body, selecting the slate. And that slate again would be Natasha Lancaster for president, Tyree Davis for vice president, Juan Gavel for treasurer, and Raymond Blakely for parliamentarian. Are all those in favor of submitting this slate as a unified slate for the BAC offices, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed have the same right. Hearing none, the motion carries and the slate is accepted, and we are just voting for all four positions. Congratulations to each of our new board members, Ms. Lancaster, Mr. Davis, Mr. Gavel, Mr. Blakely. Thank you all. All right, so we'll move forward. Oh, and Mr. Plummer, your hand was, Mr. Plummer, you had your hand raised.
Mr. Blakely took care of it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Blakely, and Mr. Gabo, I see your hand raised now.
Well, I'm new to the board and I would like to still kind of introduce myself if I can have an opportunity.
Yes, sir. You have an opportunity right now.
Well, everyone, thank you for allowing me to join and thank you for the nomination. My name is Dewan Gavel. um, I'm a second generation Bear. My parents went to SMSU back in the 80s and I was a little kid on the campus, but we're definitely a Bears family. I graduated twice in 2007, December, and also went back to school, worked at City Utilities for right after college. And I saw an opportunity, so I went back to school to get an information technology degree in software development. My first degree was in physics and mathematics. I still work at City Utilities. I've been there for 15 years in Springfield, Missouri. That's where I live. Me and my wife, Michelle Gavel, and our 3 kids. And, I just want to say, I feel like I kind of left the village. I mean, although I've been in Springfield, I feel like I've come back with sharper skills and focus. And I plan on pouring those skills into the board as much as I can. My strengths are in data analysis, information technology, process improvements, research. So I plan on bringing those skills to the board and kind of looking at things, hopefully from a different perspective and offering great ideas to help grow this board. So and grow this committee. But I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gabo. We appreciate your comments and we look forward to your leadership and the role of treasurer going forward. Mr. Blakely, I would like to give you the same opportunity if you'd like to share some information. I was not able to do that before you offered the single slate. So if you would like to share some comments about yourself, the floor is open.
Well, I've got a pretty loud background here. I'm at a coffee shop, but I'm Raymond Blakely. So I did a master's degree there at Missouri State. I did undergrad elsewhere, but I feel like I grew up at Missouri State. I joined the staff of both the Multicultural Student Services as well as the Office of Admissions. And that's where I got my start in admissions. And I've been doing college admissions for 24 years now at 5 institutions. I'm currently serving as Director of Recruitment at UT Austin. And that's why I live here in Austin. Yeah, just happy to be connected. We're also a Bear family. My wife was recruited by George Winston. He hates for me to say that because it makes him feel old. And George and I used to actually work together at St. Louis University as well. So we're all very connected. And of course, I did serve as advisor for the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity chapter there, Sigma Theta chapter, the chapter that George chartered there on the campus of Missouri State. So a part of the Bear family, and my son is actually graduating from Missouri State next Friday. So really happy to be able to give to the board. I will tell you, like everybody else, I've got a lot going on, but George was persistent. And I can do parliamentarian though, because bylaws and Robert's Rules of Order are my thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that.
Mr. Blakely, thank you. Mr. Gabo, thank you again. Mr. Davis could not be with us today. Ms. Lancaster had to drop off. She had poor connections, but she did text me and she wanted to say that she appreciates everyone for their vote. So we're going to move forward at this particular point. Go forward here. Going to have updates from our university partners. I'm going to start with, actually it's listed, Greg to start first, but I'm going to ask Mr. Pratt, H. West Pratt, Chief Diversity Officer and Assistant President, to share some comments first, and then to allow Mr. Fansler to then follow up behind him. Wes, I believe that you are on the call.
Yes, I am. Good morning, members of the Black Alumni Council. Just a couple of quick updates. I think it's been mentioned next week is commencement at the university. But the day before that, on Thursday, the Board of Governors will be meeting in their general meeting. I'd also like to provide a couple of updates. There's a diversity report that I prepare for the Board of Governors. It's a written report, and I'll submit that to the president for dispersal after the board approves the report at their Thursday meeting. However, I'd like to highlight a couple of things that will be a part of that report. The first item is that on April 20th and 21st, we had actually our 9th annual Collaborative Diversity Conference. This year is the second year in a row that it was virtual. However, we were also able to have to obtain sponsors for the conference, so it was provided free of charge. On April 20th, we did the pre-conference session, which was our Facing Racism Institute, which was a day-long professional development and training institute conducted by Dr. Lyle Q. Foster, as well as Dr. Leslie Anderson. We had approximately 32 people participate in that. Then the next day, we had several workshops, the African American School to Prison Pipeline, Speaking Up, Not Over, on being an advocate for trans students, From Ferguson to the Future, which was an overview of the history and work of the Missouri Supreme Court's Commission on Racial and Ethnic Fairness. There was also a panel of chief diversity, equity, and inclusion experts speaking about the challenges as well as the opportunities. And then Dr. Tyrone Bledsoe completed the day with a workshop on shaping. Dr. Tyrone Bledsoe is the founder and CEO of the Student African American Brotherhood, whose national office is at Missouri State now. And he had a session on shaping a culture for access, persistence, and completion for males of color. So we had a total of about 441 folks tune in to the Zoom, the virtual conference. So we were very pleased with that. Another item of interest, on April 27th, President Smart conducted the town hall meeting. Town hall meeting was on diversity, equity, inclusion at Missouri State University. Discussions around enrollment diversity, number of underrepresented students, our first to second year retention rates and the goals that are established with that, the 6-year graduation rate, faculty and staff diversity was discussed by race, full-time faculty retention, and also some of the outcomes of the climate survey that was conducted in 2019. The Missouri State does a climate survey every 3 years, so there will be another survey that will be established or put in place next year during the academic year as well. I can also provide the slides that President Smart shared at the town hall meeting on diversity, equity, inclusion at Missouri State. A couple of other announcements. In our division for diversity, equity, and inclusion, we have a diversity fellow. Her name is Dr. Wafa Koff. She's a professor for the Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders, and she serves as our diversity fellow to the division. She is developing and implementing a Young Leaders in Global Perspectives program for fall 2022 to increase and enhance academic support for and cultural awareness of international and domestic diverse students. So you'll stay tuned for more activities associated with that. One of the initiatives that we've undertaken this year in concert with the Division of Student Affairs is a partnership with the Missouri Baptist State Convention, Missionary State Convention of Missouri. And on March 14th, I believe, they had their annual conference. It's probably the first time in 3 years they've been able to have it since COVID. And they had their annual meeting luncheon was held at Missouri State's PSU. And we've also established a scholarship. President Smart's established a scholarship with the convention. And the convention is a group of about 300 predominantly Black churches in the state of Missouri. And so we've established a scholarship. The convention has also established a scholarship. So we will have a signing agreement by the end of this month, I believe. Dr. Lyndon Bowie will come down and have the signing ceremony in the president's office, I believe on the 27th of this month. Dr. Tyrone Bledsoe, again, the CEO, founder of the Student African American Brotherhood. President Smart and I were featured speakers at the convention luncheon. You may have heard about the Bear Bridge mentoring program for our diverse faculty. They completed their activities this year with a reception that was held last week, was a Bear Bridge recognition luncheon, actually. And that was held in the student union. And we were able to acknowledge the achievements of some of our mentors and mentees who actually have attained tenure at Missouri State and have contributed. There are probably about 40 mentors and about 42 mentees. And this program is established out of our division through the efforts of Dr. Judith Martinez. And we have 100% retention rate of faculty, diverse faculty who are participating as mentees in that particular program. The other thing I'd like to mention also is that the Student African American Brotherhood, Brother to Brother chapter finished their year with a recognition awards program on April 26th. That was at Central High School. So we acknowledged our SOB student achievement and graduating seniors as well. There are probably about 25 graduating seniors, most of whom are going to be coming to Missouri State in the next year. So we're excited about that as far as a part of the outreach, recruitment and retention efforts. And finally, I'd like to mention that the president has councils on diversity. One council that's a council, and then another's a community diversity council. Both of those councils met in April last month. The Student Diversity Council were addressing issues in the Multicultural Resource Center regarding staffing issues. Dr. Rebecca Stewart, President Smart, I, and other folks were able to address their issues and questions regarding DEI efforts. They have hired a Multicultural Resource Center director. She will be coming to Missouri State from Bowling Green, I believe, and will be assuming her position on July 1st. Those are just some of the highlights. And as I mentioned, I will send you the town hall meeting PowerPoint, as well as the diversity report, for your records after Thursday's board meeting. I'd be glad to respond to any questions if anyone has them.
We have a question from the floor, Dewan Gavel. Mr. Gavel.
Yes, thank you. There's a couple of questions I have. One is, that was a lot of information to digest. There's a lot of events going on. I wanted to see, is there a way we can capture how many BAC members have the opportunity to attend those events, seminars, those type of things? Do we have a way that we're trying to reach out to BAC members to give them an opportunity to attend those? And then also, is there a way we can capture how many actual members attended those events? Is there anything similar to the university is trying to do to capture those?
We haven't, we could probably on our surveys have a question whether or not people were members of the council. I can work with you and try to figure out what's the best approach to do that. But we generally try to publicize the various events, system-wide. So we can just tap BAC into that, and hopefully information can be distributed to your members regarding some of the programmatic activities and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think that would be great if our members could get those that information directly and the opportunity to be able to attend those. and then some sort of way to capture attendance of the members that were able to attend it. And then I guess my second question would be potential future members. So that would be Black seniors potentially in college. Are we capturing that as well? Are those people attending these events?
I think that's really something that, has to sort of be worked through. I was just thinking earlier when President Winston was sharing his some of the background report that he was preparing, we had a multicultural, or the Division of Student Affairs had a multicultural a reception for our multicultural graduates. A significant number of them were African-American graduates. I would think by working with Dr. Rebecca Stewart, that information, and with the Multicultural Resource Center director, the new directors coming in, that information could be distributed to them. Perhaps, a representative of the president of BAC be able to speak at those sessions. We had both our Black Board of Governors members, Gabe Gore and Amy Counts, actually spoke at the multicultural graduation reception that they had a couple of weeks ago. So I think that that's a natural connection for BAC to make with the Division of Student Affairs, and particularly with Multicultural Student Services, to distribute, recruitment materials and opportunities to speak to the various student organizations at the university.
No, I think that would be great, because the way I look at it is you got, the total number of Black students that are seniors right now, and then trying to figure out a ratio of how many of those students are becoming members when they graduate with their degree, but then also capturing their engagement in these activities, these different events and seminars. If we could capture that, that'd be good, and then be measurable.
Yeah, and I'm sure Student Affairs would certainly be supportive of that effort.
Excellent. We have two other questions. I want to get to those. Dr. Belinda Hippolyte, your question, your hand first.
Thank you, President Winston, and thank you, Mr. Pratt, for your report. I serve as a Vice President and Chief Diversity Officer at the University of Oklahoma, and so I appreciate all of the great work that you're doing. And this question might make you cringe, but as you know, data is critically important to how we do the work of DEI. And I didn't hear any information provided around data, like what is the current makeup of faculty and staff and students, what are the graduation rates? What is the retention rates looking like? And so I want to know, I know that, that this group has been active in trying to engage our graduates, but what are we doing around, retention? What is the makeup of the faculty and staff percentage-wise, specific to African-American staff, African-American faculty, things of that nature? And so will any of that information be included in the report that you're providing?
Yes, it's actually contained in the PowerPoint that President Smart presented at the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Town Hall meeting. So you'll have data regarding enrollment, diversity of students, first to second year retention rates, 6-year graduation rates, faculty and staff diversity, full-time staff retention by race, full-time faculty retention by race, and even some of the climate survey results. So that will be provided to you.
That is awesome. And then my second question is regarding like mentoring programs. So I have been engaged more through the foundation than I have through student affairs or the division. And I was in SGA, I was in the sorority, still in the sorority, active. I was an RA, I was a SOAR leader. So I was a highly involved student, but the only group that has maintained any kind of contact with me as an alumnus has been this Alumni Association and the foundation. I've participated in Bear Talks, I've hosted Bear Dinners and all of that. And so I'm wondering, what are the opportunities for engagement and mentoring young adults who are coming through the institution to share our lived experiences and to help them avoid pitfalls that we had to navigate years ago? Because I know the landscape of Springfield because I'm in Norman, only a few hours away, so I'm there quite a bit.
Sure. I think there are tremendous opportunities, and I think student affairs would welcome those. One of the things that in my capacity as the Chief Diversity Officer, I've been trying to promote the connectivity to not only campus stakeholders, but the larger community stakeholders. I think President Winston has had some preliminary conversations with Dr. Rebecca Stewart. I think would be an excellent idea if more of BAC council members were engaged in mentoring. We have some efforts that we've helped create out of our division, the Bears Lead program, which is leadership, excellence, academics, and diversity. That's a student transition program that we created out of our office in conjunction with student affairs. So there are a number of efforts, but I think there could be an even more enhanced and embraceable opportunity to work with student affairs. I think it's critically important that our students see graduates, they see alumni who are professionals and working in whatever endeavors they may be working in. And so I think Dr. Rebecca Stewart, D. Cisco, who's the Vice President for Student Affairs, would very much be interested in that. I've sort of been promoting that since I've been in this particular position. But it's sometimes folks operate in these silos. The culture of our higher education, as you well know,
I do.
operate in silos sometimes doesn't create the necessary and required synergy, to really get enhanced results, so to speak. And I'll go into more of that. Maybe we can talk offline, but I think
Absolutely.
they would be amenable to that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sorry, we have one final question, Mr. Blakely.
Yeah, I did have a question about data, so thank you for asking that, Dr. Higgs. Final question for me is, since we do have students that are graduating next week, is it an easy lift for us to just obtain a list of those students and just send a congratulatory message on behalf of the association? I mean, from the president, just a congratulatory message may go a long way. And that may be a way to kind of get people interested to know that it actually exists. But obviously putting things in place in the future for this multicultural graduation to have someone there to kind of receive and welcome or whatever it may be. But a real easy lift, send an email, congratulations. I don't know if that's something that is easier said than done, but I'd love to see that happen.
Raymond, thank you for your question. That is something that this board has attempted to try to do in the past. We run into some roadblocks in getting some of that information with the Alumni Association not being able to provide some information for us at that particular time. I have not spoken to Greg about the possibility of doing that, but I'm certainly open to that, and that certainly we can ask Greg if that's something that's can be done at this particular point, if he's able to share that information with us for this group of students who are graduating now. So I'll let Greg address that one.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that and dive into my quick update, but I see that Dewan has his hand raised too.
Yes. Dewan, you had a question.
It's more like a statement. Just I live in Springfield, Missouri, and I'll be happy to if there is a face-to-face need from the committee, I would be happy to do anything like that since I live in Springfield, Missouri.
Thank you, Dewan. First, George, you mind if I go?
No, go ahead, sir. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Wes, and thank you for the comments and questions, and George, Aaron, and Charlene, and Hakeem. Thank you for your leadership of this council over the past number of years and taking it to where it is. And congratulations to the new leadership. We look forward to, from the Alumni Association side, working hand in glove with you to improve and grow, and that's exactly what we're here to do. I will make a comment that Charlene Fields did represent the Black Alumni Council at the multicultural graduations, as did I, and so both her and I spoke, and Charlene did receive a couple of contact information from people who are interested in coming to this meeting. I know they're in the middle of finals right now, meaning students, so likely weren't able to join. But the message about the Black Alumni Council was conveyed. And then my follow-up conversations with Rebecca Stewart, we look forward to coming together. Horrific news. We look forward to coming together over the summer to talk about how the alumni side of the house can be more engaged and connected to what's happening in the multicultural services program. And so we will make sure that that our team is plugged into, and that will kind of lead me into where we are currently at the Alumni Association. We've been able to retool really our staff and align it to what we think is going to be an impactful staff lineup to the services that are going to make a greater impact and build on the successes of my predecessor. And for those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm Greg Fansler. I've been here 7 months, proud to be a Bear. And it's just a welcoming community. I come from the East Coast. I was working at Virginia Tech for the past 14 years, and just very, very pleased and with one, the team that was came before me and connected to and has connected Bear Nation across the country. And to the staff lineup, I'll share real quickly that we have extended an offer to an assistant director of college and constituency engagement. And we hope to be able to announce that position here and who that successful candidate was next week, going through the HR channels. This position will serve as liaison to this council, as well as when we grow other affinity groups at the university and the alumni for alumni demographic experiences. And so not only will be a constituency, but college engagement. So this role will be overseeing homecoming from the alumni side. We'll be working with the university and student affairs to help plan what homecoming is and what it can be. And we know that folks, when they graduate, do want to come back and identify with the organizations they were involved with, their class year, their constituencies, their affinities. And so this role will be critical to connecting with you all as a council, and to determine what type of programming you want to offer, not only at homecoming, but across the academic calendar year. And so look forward to you all meeting this successful candidate. We have 2 other positions that just are now up for review, and that is the assistant director for chapter and corporate programs and the assistant director for student and young alumni programs. And the theme that you all have shared, one, making sure that students, as they graduate and go out into the world, ensure that they know they can be at that they can continue their Bear experience, and that they are a Bear for life. And that was the theme of my message to the graduating students at the Multicultural Services graduation was, guess what? Dallas, I'm here with you, Akeem, if you're still with us in Dallas right now, but this is the 2nd largest population of Bears outside of Missouri. We have large pockets of Bears in Denver and Northwest Arkansas and Chicago and Washington, D.C., Phoenix, and we're looking forward to formalizing chapters and making sure that volunteers are in that area planning events and ensuring that the Bear community is sustained and grows and continues. And so we need to make sure from the Alumni Association side of the house that once folks graduate, they know they have a chance to plug in and connect and meet alumni when they go out and start their careers. But also we feel like we can do more to elevate the university and its brand and its footprint by planning formal chapter events into the future, a cadence for it. Certainly St. Louis, Kansas City, Springfield, by far the largest pocket of Bears. We graduate and we stay local, close to home, 33,000 Bears in Springfield. So we'll be doing a whole lot more at home base. But that chapter and corporate person will be looking to create and form networks of Bears, not only within Missouri, but across the country. The student and young alumni piece, we really need to grow and support a culture of philanthropy here at the university. we were talking about our gift to the Black Alumni Council, or to the funds that represent that the council's lifting up in need of support. Really, your $50 gift to the university is your membership into the Black Alumni Council, no matter where you give it. But I do appreciate the direction from the Black Alumni Council leadership to support these initiatives that relate directly to this constituency. But know that your $50 gift counts. We operate on the fiscal year at this university, as do most. And so July 1 through June 30th is your fiscal year slash giving year. And so we are laser focused on what participation means. And I just really can't thank the leadership and to all of you for your support of Missouri State enough for trying to grow participation. A gift during the fiscal year and that second gift the next fiscal year is so important. Right now, we're just under 4,000 alumni who've contributed to the university this fiscal year, which is roughly 3.7% of our 119,000 bears that we can solicit. And so we have a ways to go to grow a culture of philanthropy, and it's got to start while we're students, to educate them that their tuition was subsidized, and that yes, tuition still looms and debt will happen as people do leave campus. But the foundation and advancement's mission is to ensure that we grow support from alumni to make that debt as small as we possibly can, and that folks plug into the university when they graduate in their time, talent, and treasure. It's not just about what's in your wallet. It's ensuring that what we're doing at the Alumni Association connects people, that their degree just wasn't a transaction, and that we continue their Bear experience as we go forward. So homecoming is really the last thing I'll leave you with. And we are so excited for October 28th and 29th. It's the closing of our capital campaign, Onward Upward. This is a monumental effort, a $250 million goal, which we hope to reach. This will be a significant event that will include John Goodman, who's our campaign chair. He will be back, as well as a Grammy award-winning artist that is under contract, but soon will be announced, and among other special guests and surprises. And so when we play the Western Illinois Leathernecks and we stomp them into the ground, because that's what Bobby P does, and the Bears, we will celebrate our campaign closing after that football game. And certainly Thursday and Friday activities will be on the calendar as well. Plenty to do. And with this new position that I mentioned as well, it is Lady, her and I will be working together, and with the new Black Alumni Council leadership to plan events for this for the council and its members. And we look forward to that conversation, as that is ready to happen immediately, because we have to start homecoming planning yesterday. I will close there because it's Saturday morning, and we've take any questions, but I'm just excited to be here and to connect with some of you in person. I've met a number of you already in person, but I look forward to being with you into the future. And again, congratulations to the new leadership.
It looks like George might have gotten, oh, he's back. There you go. I'm not sure if he's back or not.
Okay.
George, are you back? Looks like he's still connected.
You know what? He looks like he's back now.
Yeah, he's back. No questions.
No, I don't think
That means you did an amazing job.
Oh, Aaron, you're a terrible liar.
You're right. No, I'm just joking. But no, you did do a good job. So there are no questions. Wonderful. So I am going to try to share my screen to finish off the meeting until George comes back.
I can share this. I can share the screen, Erin, if you'd like me to.
Yes, please. George is reconnecting now. Thank you. All right, so this is the one section that George added on, which was the alumni highlight. So today we're talking about Charles E. Baldwin. He has a bachelor's of science in sociology from 1972. So over 40 years of experience as a government contractor. He's the first Black male at the Kennedy Space Center. So that is really amazing because he is an alum of Missouri State. So he says, as the first Black male of the Kennedy Space Center to receive the NASA Public Service Medal in 1981 for Space Shuttle Columbia maiden flight, April 12, 1981. So just to put it in perspective, I was 1 year old at that time frame. So I think that was amazing. But that's an alum of Missouri State. So that's awesome. We want to try to make sure that we're spotlighting our alumni as well. So, and Greg may have said this, but I was out with a client, but the more information that we're able to provide Greg and Alumni Association, the more we can talk about our own and we can see ourselves, because that's something that one of the main reasons why Black Alumni Council is here is that we can see ourselves when we are providing the input that's needed. So let's continue to grab this information and supply it to Greg, especially when it's time for Bears of Distinction. Greg, do you want to go ahead and go to the next slide? There's a distinction. Look at that. So we want to say congratulations to Charlotte. Charlotte, we finally were able to give her the award at Bears of Distinction this year. And I was very happy to be in attendance for that. And so many of you on this call were impacted by Charlotte Harden while we were at Missouri State or SMSU. And so to be able to give her that award this past month is amazing. And so we have to continue to advocate for ourselves, which is why Black Alumni Council is around, is to be able to advocate for ourselves and also to be able to be in the forefront. I know everyone has talked about on this call about having the access to leadership at Missouri State, and we do. We have the access to leadership, and we have to continue to move forward. So I'm very excited and happy to be able to help present that award, help her to get that award, not present it, help her get the award, and then also be able to be ready for future leaders that we need to recognize at Missouri State. Anybody have any questions about even the Bears of Distinction at all? Nothing? Yeah, there's a lot of chat. Yeah, a lot. There's a lot about Miss Charlotte that people don't really know, but there's some that we all on this call definitely do know on how she helped us out and got us through our days at Missouri State or SMSU. So I think George is back. And so I'm going to pass it back to George.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Aaron, being able to step in the middle. I'm so sorry to each of you. I don't know what happened with my system. It just crashed as I was listening. I was like, oh, great. Okay. But I think you stated everything that I would stated at this particular point. Greg and Wes, thank you for your comments that you shared. Looking so forward to working with both of you as we move forward, both in BAC and with the MSU Alumni Association as well. So if there aren't any additional, and Greg, since you're controlling things now, if you can move to the next slide. I'd like to ask for a motion that we adjourn our meeting. We are a little bit beyond the time frame that I thought we would be, but that's okay. We had some wonderful dialogue, great participation. So I think that's in good shape. But I would like to ask for a motion that we adjourn our meeting. Oh yeah, I just want to continue to talk.
George, okay. I move that we adjourn the meeting. This is Natasha.
Natasha, welcome back to the call and congratulations on becoming the next president of the Black Alumni Council.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, we have a motion that the BAC biannual meeting for the month of May be adjourned. It was seconded by Raymond Blakely. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those who disapprove have the same rights. There not be anybody. Thank you all. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And to our new officers, I will be in contact with you so we can schedule a meeting in June to hand over the reins to you guys and to make sure that you have all the appropriate information that you need to run the BAC moving forward. So Natasha has some of that information already. So, but we will make sure that Raymond, Dwan get that information as well as Tyree. So thank you all. Take care. It is officially 11:41, and please record that in our minutes, Madam Secretary. Take care. Be well, y'all. Bye-bye.